All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of the show Baseball Podcast presented by Beyond the Monster. I am your host, Andrew Parker, and today's episode, we're dipping into the Cleveland Guardians organization. I got Jonah Advincula on, and he is fresh off winning a Player of the Week award for High Lake County this past week, where he had a 3 home run week and a 2 home run game for the first time in his career, since his college days at least. So we do talk about that. We talk about his start to the season, obviously, his what he was doing over the offseason, things with his bat path and, bat speed and everything like that. So we do dive into that. We dive into his second spring training this time around and some other things, obviously, going on in his world. But before I get any further, whether you watch me on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you are intaking this, please like, subscribe, give me thumbs up, give me, any positive or negative feedback. I'll take it all. But anything helps going forward. But without further ado, let me shoot you on to the interview with Jonah. All right. I am joined by Jonah Advincula of the Cleveland Guardians organization. Jonah is coming off of a Player of the Week award this past week for his performance there for Lake County. And that's actually where I want to start off. Obviously you were named the Player of the Week. MILB posted about you all over their pages. How did that feel, I guess, and how did it feel, at the plate last week?
Yeah, man, it felt amazing at the plate. Seeing the ball well, swing was kind of all coming together. We put in a lot of work in the offseason, a lot of work right now, working with all my coaches, working with my coaches back home. And just to see it all come together was really, really cool for me. And yeah, just still working on things and learning new things.
So you hit 3 home runs last week, and I kind of took a look back through some of your seasons, even your college years. You're not really known for being a home run guy, and I feel like you almost matched your home run total from last year when you played over 100 games there. And you're at half of that right now, and you're already almost at your home run total. Is that something that you've been maybe like trying to dip into the power department a little bit, or is that just like something that's just happened?
For sure, yeah. I mean, we're gonna. The organization really wanted me to tap into, a little bit more power. And, a lot of that was bat speed stuff, working on the off season with the overload, the underload, doing a bunch of drills with those. And, really just trying to get my best move off with good intent and with, some better bat speed, improved bat speed. And then also most of it was cleaning up the bat path a little bit. So, I have pretty good contact skills for the most part, but being able to use those contact skills and be able to, impact the ball a little bit more consistently. So, all of that kind of just came together last week, and it was really cool to see, especially the impact in the power numbers being able to be on, be able to show those.
And so, obviously, I feel like it's probably easier said than done, just be like, hey, we want you to hit for more power. There's a lot that goes into it. And like you were kind of explaining a little bit about bat speed and things like that. But so what does, like, how does that happen? Like, so say the organization goes to you and says, hey, we would love for you to start, hitting for more power. So like, what do you do on your end?
I mean, I just followed what they're saying. I mean, they gave me kind of the blueprint, but then my job was just really to make it my own. And still, it's been a long process for sure. It hasn't been easy, but being able to bounce ideas off of coaches and just kind of, make it my own, trying to figure out what they're trying to say. And every coach, has different ways basically in the organization of saying the same thing basically, but just trying to ask everyone and see what clicks really. And it felt like it clicked last week, and see if I can continue it and see if I can improve on and keep showcasing my power. So it's definitely in there.
Yeah, and obviously we were just talking about it. You hit 3 last week. You hit 2 in one game, and we kind of talked about your home run numbers probably haven't been the highest over your career. But was that the first time you've hit 2 in a game?
Yeah, first time professionally. I hit 2 in a game in college one time back at Washington State. That was probably the best game ever in my life, I would say. But yeah, it was definitely nice hitting and getting my first multi home run game professionally. So yeah, I felt really good.
All right. Yeah. And obviously, we kind of just touched on a little bit, obviously some things that you might have been working on starting in your off season to, try to dip into the other aspects of your game here. So I do
Mhm.
I want to take us back to your off season. Obviously you're, a couple years into your professional career now, and you've had a chance now to, you got your feet wet last year in high A and you're back there again. But for this off season, what kind of things, I guess you can also give the power answer as well, but what other things were you working on with your game this past offseason?
Um, I would say, I mean, I was working on a lot of the outfield stuff. There's some specific things, kind of like first step um, was a big one for me. Uh, some reads, balls kind of like right at me coming in, balls to my left. There's some inefficiencies there, and then just trying to clean those up defensively. I mean, everything on the bases too. Trying new techniques for stealing and base running, and how I can be more efficient. And I mean, obviously, I'm still working on those things. And but I mean, just outside of the swing, um, yeah, and then just trying to get my arm stronger because my arm was, and just trying to keep it healthy. My arm was a little bit hurt at the end of the season, so I was just trying to develop some routines, some arm care routines and stuff like that to really keep it healthy and to strengthen my arm too. So kind of went a little bit of everything this off season, and but obviously the bat path and the swing was the most important one for me. So
So you got drafted in 2023, and you're now into your second full professional season that you have, and I guess something that's probably a little underrated is the spring training part of, I guess, the off season, where it's the one time where every single player, coach, everybody is in the same building essentially for a month and a half time. So for you now, obviously your rookie year last year is under your belt. So this was your second spring training coming in. What kind of things did you take out of this spring training? So you kind of knew the complex a little more, obviously, than the year before. You kind of knew some more guys. So what did you use this
yeah,
past spring training for?
just kind of just to show like what I could do, what I was working on in the off season, kind of work on that, in a game setting and kind of test some things out. Maybe like I wouldn't do, in the regular season, but it's just kind of experimenting with at bats and different approaches, especially offensively, and seeing, what works best for me, while also, just trying to see pitches, get used to that, and get used to live pitching again, and seeing the ball off the bat. But yeah, I would say just trying new things.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, and obviously, with it being your second full pro season, you're back in high A this year, and last year in your experience there, you played over 100 games there in Lake County. But coming into this season, did you take anything from last year with your time in high A? Like, did you say like, okay, I know pitchers throw this pitch, or they can't get away with this? Like, what have you
Mhm.
noticed, I guess, about the level?
I mean, there's a lot of good pitchers in high A, and I would say like from my experience with spring training, facing like big league guys and double A, triple A guys, I would say it's not too far off of those levels in terms of the pitching. Obviously, they can locate a little better, but I feel like the stuff is pretty much pretty similar. Um, but getting used to kind of like the pitch mix of high or pro ball last year for my first year was kind of the learning experience for me, and feel like I'm definitely getting used to it, kind of refining my approach, and looking for pitches at the right time, which pitches to look for at the right time, and ones that I can do damage on. So that was a big thing that I learned last year in high A. Spend the whole year, and then a little bit this year as well.
So you're just a few games away from approaching 150 games played in the high A level. And usually around like that time and plate appearances, players start to, maybe be like, okay, like, when is the next call up? When's the next step for me? And I guess I want to ask, like, for you as a player, is it hard at all for yourself to just kind of like, you got to think like, I got to stay where my feet are. Like, I can't play GM. I don't determine when I get called up that, the org does. Like, is it hard for you as a player to just put all that aside and just play?
For me personally, I don't really pay too much attention to that. I mean, obviously I wanted to come out and play, in Akron in AA. That's always want to be at the next level. But I mean, I'm just grateful for, even having the opportunity to play. I'm 24, and a lot of my friends, they hung up the cleats already, and just being able to have the opportunity, that's what gives me the why or the reason to play every day. I just love showing up to the field, and baseball is baseball no matter what level. And I mean, no matter what level, you still got to play against the ball, and it's a lot of fun for me, no matter where it be high A, Division III, or the big leagues. The game is fun for me, so I don't really, as long as I'm playing, I'm having fun.
Yeah, I like that perspective a lot. You were kind of saying, you're like, hey, a lot of my friends have already hung up the cleats. They're they're done with their playing career, and you've made it high A. You've made it already a lot farther than a lot of other people ever will get to. So I like that perspective a lot. You don't really hear that too often.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so I did see, you are I think I'm just going to say this, you're a West Coast guy at heart. I feel like you're, you grew up out there, you went to college out there, but now you're kind of like trickling. I guess Ohio's not like the East Coast, but I guess it's like Midwest, kind of East Coast. So have you, was there any like, I don't want to say culture shocks, because it's not, I mean, it is a different way of life, but have you had any like, oh, this isn't the West Coast anymore type moments?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the weather is a lot different than California. I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
California, it's pretty I'd say it's pretty predictable weather. It's pretty mellow. And out here, I mean, in the summer in California, it's just going to be, 80 to 90 every day. But out here, it might come down for 10 straight minutes, and then, there's lightning, and then all of a sudden it's sunny. Like that's and then we're playing. But that was definitely a culture shock. And then I guess the bugs too out here. Or last week there were swarming. Had a bunch of bugs on my windshield. I couldn't see out my windshield in my car. But yeah, just kind of the environment out here is a little bit different in the weather, for sure.
So you don't get bugs out in like even Washington?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure there's bugs, but I don't know what they are, like the mayflies here. Or,
okay, yeah.
I forget what they're called, but yeah, I was just walking down the street of Cleveland, and there's like I couldn't. it was tough walking down the street. But yeah, it's definitely different for me.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland's a very underrated city, by the way. I think, sure. I mean, it's not the Pacific Ocean, but it's you still have a lake right there. It's still pretty nice, but
yeah, no doubt, it's nice.
So yeah, you're obviously playing in Ohio right now, and it's I feel like it's interesting because you see like for example like the San Francisco Giants organization, like they have a minor league affiliate all the way out in Virginia, or like the Blue Jays have one all the way in Vancouver. And it's just like, it's very interesting that like they got to travel so far. But for yourself, you're playing pretty close to where your major league affiliate is. Do you ever get a chance to like you were just talking about walking in Cleveland, like to just be around like the big league park or anything like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, we live in downtown Cleveland, which is pretty cool. We live right down the street from Progressive Field, which is sweet.
Yeah.
And cool. So what we get to do is, I mean, on the off days, usually our Mondays are off day, and I usually go to the games with a few of my teammates. kind of experience the big league life. And then but what we actually do on days that they're on the road is we get to go hit in their cage and use their gym and use all their facilities. We don't get to hit on the field or anything like that, but we get to use everything else, which is pretty cool. So, it's nice. It's sweet. Like the traject and all the little gadgets they have, and they just built a new weight room. So, definitely love going to Progressive and working out there. So, yeah, we're definitely lucky.
It's got to be a humbling feeling going and working out and hitting in the cages at Progressive and then going back to the high A facility. But might be just a little different, but
a little bit.
Yeah, it's a cool experience though. So you just kind of brought up your Monday off day, and I like asking this question too. But let's just say that Cleveland's out of town, they're on a West Coast trip or something, and you have a Monday off day every single week. What are you usually doing on the off day if you can't go to a big league game?
Really just recovering. Maybe go out to eat with some friends. Play a lot of video games. We play the show, FIFA, Fortnite, numerous of video games. Really just chilling, keeping it low key, getting ready for the Tuesday game. So nothing too complex.
Do you have the real 99?
I do. I just actually got it. I got it a couple of days ago, so I was stoked.
How is it?
It's good. It's good. I played a couple games with it, and I mean, I've gotten a few hits. I hit my first home run yesterday with it, so yeah, I'm excited to use it and see how my card plays out.
You know something that I didn't hear you say though, that I hear everybody. I know you're not a pitcher, but you don't have golf rounds any on Mondays at all. No tee times for you.
No, I'm not. I never really got too much into golf. Maybe I'm thinking of getting into it. But one thing we do, we got a casino next door, so sometimes we'll go there. That's like our fun for the day.
Yeah, might be a little less frustrating than golf. Still frustrating, I guess, but not as bad as golf.
Yeah, for
sure. Right. I was surprised. You're a West Coast guy. I know California's got a ton of good courses. So
for sure.
All right. Well, I got one question left for you before I let you slide here. So obviously you are coming off winning a Player of the Week award, and I would assume that you probably didn't go into the week and be like, I want to win Player of the Week. I'm assuming that probably wasn't in your mind, but you obviously did. And we're mid-June now, and we're quickly approaching the trade deadline, All-Star break area, which is usually around like mid-season. So for yourself, do you have any goals that you want to hit by mid-season, whether they're personal goals, statistical goals, anything? Like, do you have anything you want to hit by like mid-season?
Mid-season. I mean, I don't really have too many statistical goals. I mean, I would want to. One goal I had for the end of the season was to get to 60 stolen bases. That was one goal. But most of my goals right now with that I made with my coaches are more like process oriented. So I didn't really have too many statistical goals. But I mean, I think I'm not sure. Just keep showing up every day, playing the game hard, and see what happens.
I know I put you on the spot. I apologize for that.
No worries.
Always got to end on a banger. Always.
Yeah. Good question.
All right.
I'm going to start making some goals.
Yeah, because I know like some guys some guys are like, oh, like maybe I don't want to put a statistical goal in, but maybe personal. I want to be at, or if it's a pitcher, I want to be at this velocity. I want to throw this many birds, whatever it is. But get you thinking though a little bit. But Jonah, I appreciate all the time. Obviously, best of luck for you going towards the rest of 2025 and hopefully up in AA towards the end of the year. But thank you so much for the time.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for having me.